All right, we're continuing hanging out here at the UFC Fan Expo 2025. Remember these back in the day? I remember you in Boston. You remember the Fan Expo? The GOAT, by the way, Hall of Famer Mark Coleman. You remember Boston?
Hey, brother, to be honest with you, it's fuzzy, but yeah, I remember it, but those were my drinking days, man.
You signed autographs at Bonafide Tough Guy.
Yeah.
And the line was out the wall,
Nice.
Out the store. I remember it like
yeah, it was very cool.
Talk about it. I'm talking to a lot of the media, and I've been around since blah 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 blah. UFC 11, you already know this, was the first one I attended under media. I covered it since the very beginning, but how different that ballroom was that you fought at UFC 11, basically, and what this is now.
It's a big difference, and I would like to think it would probably make a difference somehow, some way, but I don't know how because it didn't matter to me where I'd fought. Once you're in that cage, even before you're in that cage, days before, I just focused on the fight, and I didn't care if there was one person there or nobody there. I just wanted to get that ass whooping and get that win and get out of there, man.
Well, Robbie Lawler was on earlier, who went into the Hall of Fame last night. We both have known Robbie a long time. He's not the type of guy, obviously, to talk about himself and, the Hall of Fame and all that kind of stuff. He said other people will do that. I know you're like that. That's why I'm that spokesman for you as I continue. And I believe it. I don't say stuff just for the sake of it. You are the GOAT in the heavyweight division.
Maybe for like a month, maybe for a year, but absolutely not. I like to call myself more of a journeyman. I'm not, I accept what happened in my career, but I was an alcoholic and it controlled me, and I didn't put in the time necessary to win on a consistent basis. You can obviously tell when I did prepare and when I didn't. I should have tipped some people off to make some bets because I knew every time I was going to win or lose, basically, almost every time.
Well, one of the reasons that I say it, I'm not here to kiss your butt, but you know that I say this all the time, is I've only seen two combat fighters that I've seen. I mean, I'm sure there's more, but two that I've seen that fighters were afraid to fight. Mike Tyson and you. I was there at UFC 11. I was there when people didn't want to fight you. How much would you have liked to have been younger to fight today? A, with this atmosphere, A, with this crowd, and more importantly, let's be honest, with this money.
Hell yeah, which is funny, but I'm happy with where I'm at. With the time I came in, I think that's as good as it gets. But of course, I always want more. I'm a greedy person. I would love to be in there with these crowds, with the TV crowds, everything. The pressure would be bigger, it'd be enormous. And if I was sober, I would have been the betting favorite almost every night because you don't want to bet the house against me when I'm in shape.
A lot of media, a lot of fans, when they try to compare, when I bring up yesterday, and they're like, well, they were one-dimensional. Mark was a grounding kind of guy.
I wasn't one-dimensional. I fought one-dimensional because that's all I had to do to win. I had the other dimensions. I just didn't use them because I had a bigger chance to win with the way I fought. So, no, I would have been a well-rounded fighter, trust me. I'm an athlete. I was a three sports star in high school, all state in three sports. I would have been knocking the shit out of people because I did it in practice all the time when it didn't matter if I got caught. I just wasn't going to risk giving this guy a chance to catch me with a good punch because a lot of times that's the only chance this guy had is to knock me out.
I wish you would have told that story to George Gazelle back in the day because George would always tell me after the fight he would lose a fight. And he would say, sorry, Randy. I'm like, George, why didn't you do your jiu-jitsu? You're like a 412-degree black belt. He's like, well, I know I can beat him that way. I'm like, no, you want to win's the most important thing.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but he ain't just going to win with jiu-jitsu, that's for sure. I mean, that worked for a little while, but you got to use more. We should use that more to open up the doors for the other stuff. But look at Justin Gaethje. That's the type of fighter I would want to be, is Justin Gaethje, and I would be that guy today because I would take the risk. Maybe I'm just talking because I'd rather be 34-0 with maybe a little bit boringer fight than 31-3 with 3 knockouts.
Right.
So
talk about the movie.
Oh wow! Did you get Kurt over here?
No, not yet.
I'm so happy for that guy, man, because we're sober brothers. He's got about 8 years. He motivated me to get sober. Yeah, he's another guy that for a short period of time, he was one bad dude. He had the same struggles and problems I did. The smashing sheet comes out, makes me look like I'm a father or two, a good husband, father or two, but I just happened to be, during that time, I just happened to get my shit together, and Mark Kerr didn't get his shit together at the time. I could have easily been him, and he could have been me. I chose to train during that time, but I'm glad I did, because it's one hell of a documentary, and this movie coming out, I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm so excited. I've always wanted to be famous for all the wrong reasons, but I wanted to be famous. But now I like to be famous, and I got this big ground to help people getting sober. That's what I'm here for now. Let everybody know God is the one that got me sober, and He guides me now. By the grace of God, I'm going to help other people get sober, and my platform helps because people listen. But when they do reach out to me, I don't fuck around. It's real simple. Fucking check into rehab. That's how I can help you. We'll tell you to check into rehab and get in there, shut up and listen and learn something and give yourself a chance to become sober, because only 4% of people that do check into rehab actually make it. So it's a very tough fight, but you can do it. You got to work the system.
Talk about what it took for you to finally reach out for that. You know, we've talked off the air. We've been friends for a long time. Wes and I have talked, the circle, but it has to be at that one point where finally you decide, I've got to get help.
Well, I knew for a long time that I had a problem. I just was never ready to quit. And your rock bottom can be anywhere. I could have been rock bottom for 10 years, but it just kept getting worse. You push the buttons, maybe your rock bottom could be the end, so it could have been over at any time, but I kept going lower and lower, and then finally my good buddy Wes Sims, I was staying in an extended stay hotel. It was the most disgusting, nasty room you could ever imagine. It can't be worse than I'm saying, but I was the same way. I was 280 pounds. I hadn't worked out in 10 years. Didn't shave. I didn't shower. I didn't do much of anything except survive. I wasn't trying to kill myself. I wasn't giving up. I just wasn't ready. But nobody was trying to tell me what to do. Finally, Wes Sims, he was reaching out to him a little bit, kind of giving him indications, because he would always talk to me and I would lie to everybody, I'm doing great. But I wasn't doing great, but I finally was letting him know a little bit. The next thing you know, he showed up at my hotel room, and I don't even remember him showing up. He came back the next day, and he had looked into some rehab centers and everything, and he told me he had one ready to take me in that day. And I was terrified, because I was drinking alcohol every day for 10 years. And I was taking benzos every day for 10 years. And those two drugs are the hardest two drugs in the world to get off of. You can't just go off them cold turkey. You can die for sure. So I was scared of that. But, as a drug addict, as an addict, I said, well, how about the hospital? Because I knew they would give me drugs in there to wean me off and shit. And sure enough, it did. It got me off the alcohol. And the benzos, they had weaned me down quite a bit. And when I got out, I tried to get out of it. I told Wes, maybe tomorrow, but thank God he was persistent. And thank God I'm the one that had to say, okay. So thank God I did.
That's our good friend Wes Sims. And I know you want to talk about the story. Talk about what it is today. Is it still a struggle every day? Well, I know you're past it, but you can't look. So talk to people so they can understand. I can understand that.
It gets better every day. It gets better throughout the whole time. 4 years and 3 months, but it's not a day that passes that I don't think about alcohol and drugs a lot. So it's going to be like that the rest of my life. But now I just realize it's not an option. It's absolutely not an option. And I have outlets when it does get overwhelming. I have my ways. I pray, of course. I listen to Christian music. It pulls me out of any funk I'm in. I go to Alcoholics Anonymous meetings still. I haven't been there in a while, so I don't want to say that. I need to get back here because it keeps you humble. It keeps you in check because I just know so many people that are doing great, and then all of a sudden, boom, they give me a call, and they slipped up. You know what I mean? So it's a daily battle, but man, I can do anything in this world if I just stay sober. So
I'm going to lighten it up a little. He's going to get ready. He's going to make fun of me. I want to ask you about the puppy. Your dog. When I came to your apartment, your dog. I was a little scared of his dog.
Well, he's not a puppy. He's over a year old.
He's a monster dog.
King Martello. He's about 110 pounds now. He's the strongest of them. He yanked me. Whoa, I've been having the hip still. But he took a V-line the wrong way, and I was on the phone. Boom, caught it at the end. Yeah, he took me right down to the ground recently. Woo! You worry about the hip, you know what I mean? Because it's popped out 6 times on me in the past. You'll never get over that. So you just, thank God the hip didn't pop out. But no, he's a blessing. The Hammer, my first dog, changed my life. And then we got King Martello to take over for Hammer, who died in the house fire, obviously. But my daughter Kinsey, she kind of took him under her wing. She was getting up at 5 a.m. to feed him, and she don't ever get up at 5 a.m. She really wanted this dog to be the main guy. I think she is the main person, but I'm definitely.
So I talked about the story when I flew up to Shane Grossman's 50th birthday party. And Mark was kind enough. I picked him up, and we drove an hour and a half to the party. So when I went into his apartment, I was a little petrified of the dog. I got to be honest. He's like, "What's wrong with you? You don't like dogs? This isn't a dog. This is like a monster."
He's so nice, though. He's the nicest dog there is, but he don't know his own strength.
Well, when he doesn't know somebody, he's protecting you. And
well, he just wants to.
He wanted to.
He don't protect me.
He wanted to play.
He wants to play.
I wanted to get the hell out of there. So what are you going to do the rest of the day? Are you going to be tomorrow night when you beat the fights?
I think I got to go back and sign like 800 trading cards for I'm not sure which company, but go kick that out real quick and then figure out what we're going to do tonight. I was hoping to go to Power Slap, but I heard they're sold out, man. I mean, damn, I wanted to go to that, but Power Slap sold out. That's interesting. Today's Friday, right? Yeah, I got to go to Kevin Random's Memorial Foundation tonight. I think that's at Mandalay Bay, so we'll go hang out there put in my time there, and then that's about it.
All right, now I'm going to get to the controversy. Marks doesn't shy from controversy. All right, so I'm big on a lot of things. I hate the word legend. I hate a lot of things. If a fight is in the Hall of Fame, if a fight is in the fight wing of the Hall of Fame, are those two fighters Hall of Famers? Here's my answer. I'll give you mine first. Absolutely not. The fights in the Hall of Fame.
They're just in this branch. You know what I mean? Like, I just got inducted to USA Wrestling's Hall of Fame for the Courage Award. So do I believe I'm a USA Wrestling Hall of Famer? Not really. So it's the same question you're asking.
Right.
I'm in there for this, but no, I want to be in there as a Hall of Fame wrestler.
Right.
So it's the same thing.
And for people that disagree with me, and this is what I say, if you've gone to the Pro Football Hall of Fame or Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, there's bats, there's balls, there's jerseys, there's shoes. That doesn't make them a Hall of Famer. That's from a Hall of Fame moment. And I just, me being me, it's disrespectful to Hall of Famers.
It's just a different wing.
When you sign those trading cards, is it the same signature? Now, I know it's a long time, so it's going to change a little bit. Do you sign on the same portion of the card? And I've always wondered, do they tell you what color Sharpie or pen?
They send it in the mail, but my signature always changes a little bit, and as you go, it changes. Yeah, it looks good at first, and then it just starts swagging a little bit. So depends how much time you want to put in.
So the most valuable card is going to be the first one you sign.
I didn't really realize that it's important that how you sign your name, and it's even more important what you put underneath it, like the hammer or UFC Hall of Famer or flag ribbon. Those things add value to everything. I didn't realize that, especially on gloves. You know, a Mark Coleman glove side would be say $150. Mark Coleman UFC Hall of Fame $200. You know what I mean?
So, and again, I'm curious, and we have a lot of collectors as well. Do they tell you can or can't put UFC Hall of Fame or the hammer, or do they allow you to do different things on it? And then you do it for the trading card company.
Sometimes they say, like, this card, put something special on there, so I don't think they want it on other ones.
Right.
I suppose I could, and they wouldn't say nothing.
But make it more valuable, which is what collectors want.
Yeah.
You know, now
I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to slip a few special ones in there. I should have done that the whole way.
Yeah, you know, and I've always tried to talk to fighters and athletes to do that. Like maybe do one in a red Sharpie.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you know the story about Billy Ripken, Cal Ripken's brother. So he put a slang, not very, you know about it? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then they went and changed it. They blacked it out, and it made them all more valuable.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know if the card company was in on that, or if that was Ripken that did it.
No, I just should have been smart enough to do this a long time ago.
But it does add, to the collection. As always, Mark, it's great to see you. It's great to see you like this.
But I don't get none of that money, so why do I want to up the value for somebody else?
Well,
because it just ups my value.
Well, it does up your value, but it ups the collector's value.
Yeah.
So, the people that go and spend a lot of money for these boxes of cards.
Yeah.
And I've opened boxes, I've never hit anything good. I've never hit an autograph.
It'll keep the card company coming back to me.
That's true.
Because it's been beautiful, like the last 8 years. Get like maybe a deal a year, but now I've been getting like 2 trading cards a deal a year, and the prices went up every year. So
do you collect your stuff at all? Keep a couple? Or?
Yeah, I have probably about 50 cards, 40 cards. Yeah, just somewhere. I don't know where, but yeah. You got to keep them pristine, you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
It's a big business.
Final question for you. How's your parents? I had the opportunity to meet Mark's parents. I was in Mark's parents' house when we went to see Shane Grossman. How are the parents doing? I know your mom follows me on Facebook.
They're doing good. My dad is battling Alzheimer's right now, but I think he's doing great. But every time I ask my mom, she says he's not doing great. Why? Well, he can't really remember it. I said, yeah, but so what, Mom? He's forgot shit his whole life. As long as he's healthy and eating and you got to be positive. He's doing good. He's not good. He's doing good. That's the way I see it.
There you have it, live from the UFC Fan Expo with the UFC heavyweight GOAT, Mark Coleman.
Thank you.